Welcome back to another daily drop on the Unjaded podcast. I got to tell you, I'm kind of getting into the swing of this. I don't know. I kind of like these short, quick episodes every single day. What do you think? So today we are talking about social media. I'm just going to give you a little bit of the lay of the land. We're going to go over 6 tips for falling in love with, or at least no longer loathing, social media for your business. Number 1, I want you to start to think about, why do people go to social media? If you could have this in your mind as you're creating content to post on social media, I think it would really, really help you. Why do you go to social media? I know that we all love to say that we hate social media, but we've all been guilty of getting into the scroll a time or two, right? The scroll hole. And why do we do that? I would say that we go sometimes to numb out, to be entertained, not so much to be educated, but sometimes to be educated. I know for those of us who have businesses, sometimes we go to research what's actually trending, what's doing well, what kind of content can we create. We might go to get inspired, but we don't necessarily turn on social media and think, oh my God, I hope somebody tries to sell me something tonight. I am at my limit. My kids have been screaming all day. Everything went wrong in my business. I'm fighting with my partner. I just need to have some time alone, and I hope that someone tries to sell me something tonight online. That's not the case, right? So we go to social media to be social. So that is the first thing that I want you to have in your mind when you're creating content for your ideal clients. And always have your ideal client in your mind. What does that person need to hear from you? What would make her life better? What does he need to know to actually help him solve the problem that he's trying to solve? What would make her laugh? What would inspire her? What would encourage her to just keep going? Those are the types of things people want to hear and see on social media. Number 2, be a good human. Okay, don't be gross. I mean, I know you know this, and I know you're not gross, but sometimes people can be really wonky on social media, right? We still have to remember that it's human connection. Yes, there is like a phone screen between us, but our energy carries in the online space. So who do you want to show up as for your people? Be that person every time you go to social media. None of this, creepy going and searching out the competition to see what they're doing so that you can copy them. Not that you would ever do that. None of this, just commenting just for the sake of throwing something on there. Those are my most hated words, by the way, in social media. When I'm speaking with clients and they say, I just put something on there to throw it up. And I'm like, throw up? Really? That's what you want to put on social media? Your throw up? And you wonder why your social media is not bearing you paying clients? Hello? Okay, so be a good human. Number 3, help the algorithm. So instead of thinking the algorithm hates you, or you can never please the algorithm, or it's working against you, I want you to start to think that the algorithm has a job. And that algorithm's job is to be a matchmaker. It's trying to match your content with the people that it's meant to help. So that's why you need to be crystal clear on your message. Because when you are flowery in your language, when you are speaking in coach speak and spiritual speak that nobody understands what you're saying, I did an episode on this, a full episode on this, and I will link it in the show notes for you. But when you speak in that kind of language that people really don't get what you're talking about, the algorithm doesn't know what you're talking about either, and it doesn't know who to pair you up with. When you're being really vague and trying to please everybody, then you're not helping anyone because nobody's going to see your content. We really want to help the algorithm by getting as specific as possible in our messaging. And before we go through the last 3 points, I'm going to invite you again. I've got a 3-day event that's entirely free that you want to grab your seat in. We are covering all of the things about how to clarify your message so that you never need to buy another template or another formula again that doesn't work anyway. You don't need to go on Instagram and try to copy what other people are doing, try to find the patterns in their content. Why did this go viral? Why? It doesn't matter. You are going to learn how to say exactly what you came here to say and understand who you are here to say it to so that you create content that you turn into money in the bank. So the link is in the show notes. I really want to see you in the room, okay? All right. Number 4, this is my very favorite social media tip. Every time you post on social media, and I wish I could remember where I heard this to give the person credit. Every time you post on social media, I want you to stand up and say, yes, Mark Zuckerberg works for me. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for getting my content in front of exactly the person who's going to hire me to change their life. Mark Zuckerberg works for me. Number 5, understand the problem that you actually solve. So this goes back to your clear message. Your ideal client, the person who is going to hire you, they are going to hire you to solve a specific problem. They are not going to hire you to feel better. They are not going to hire you to find their authentic self. They are not going to hire you to uncover what's been holding them back, to get unstuck. They're going to hire you to solve a specific problem. So they have to know what the problem is that you solve. You've got to get crystal clear. What do you help your client to change? Because clients hire coaches to change something. We don't hire coaches to just make our life a little bit better, to make our business a little bit better. We hire a coach because we're not making any money in our business and we want to make money in the business. We hire a coach because we want to go from 6 figures to 7 figures. We hire a fitness coach because we want to transform our body from the soft and saggy to the firm and toned. We don't hire people to get vague results, okay? So I invite you to understand and speak to the problem that you actually solve. You know, in the Body Graph Chart group, we did a boot camp last month on growing your audience on Instagram. One of the first things that we did was that we crafted the Instagram bio. And it is so interesting to see how we struggle with this, how we struggle with actually planting our flag in the sand and saying, this is what I'm here for. This is the thing that I do. But we have to say that. And just this morning, I went into the group and someone who is in the nursing field and human design, she had said something about unlocking, up-leveling, whatever, like something really super vague. And then I had given her some feedback and I went in today and she claimed her space. Human design for nurses. Taking care of others shouldn't burn you out or something like that. And it was like, yes, 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 yes. And then she spoke a little bit more to what she's dealing with and her qualifications. But it was like, this is what I do. This is who I am. And that's what your people need from you. And number 6, and the final tip is be clear over clever. When you have a choice in your messaging to say something really, really clearly or to say something clever, always understand that somebody's not going to get the clever. You really need to be speaking your message as if you are saying it to an 8-year-old. If an 8-year-old could not understand what you are saying, because most people read at a 4th grade level, if an 8-year-old can't understand what you're saying, then it's too complicated. Dumb it down. And I don't mean dumb it down because people are dumb. I mean dumb it down because people are overwhelmed. When they are on social media, they are not there to work. They are not there to figure out what you are trying to say and to read between the lines. They need it to hit them between the eyeballs so that they understand that you're the person that's going to help them change their life. Okay? So that was a lot. I feel like I've been hollering at you. This apparently was an episode where we brought the whole intense version of Vicky Dixon and not really very much of the nurturing one. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I'll be back here tomorrow with another daily drop for you. Make sure you go into the show notes. And if you have a question to ask, you can send me an audio right this minute. You can just click the button and send an audio with your question to answer on the podcast. And you want to save your seat for that free 3-day masterclass series that I'm doing. I'll see you tomorrow.